Hi, welcome to Chris Cook for YouTube. Tonight we're going to be doing chicken stuffed crescent rolls. If you want something that's going to be quick, fast, and different for your family, this will be the perfect dish. So let's get started. Here I have 4 boneless, skinless chicken breasts. I've already thawed them out and they're completely washed. I have 1 onion, butter. I'm not going to use all of this, but I'm just going to use a portion of it. I have cheese. This is American white. You can use any kind that you prefer, or you can leave it out altogether. Here is a can of cream of celery soup, a can of cream of chicken soup. Of course, we have the croissants. Here I have carnation milk, chicken broth, 2 chicken bouillon cubes. The seasonings is going to be seasonal, which is just your seasoned salt, thyme, onion powder, garlic powder, and pepper. Now, I'm going to get started with preparing the chicken because we want to boil the chicken until it boils all to pieces, and then we want to put it together and we'll go to the next step. I'll meet you at the stove. I'm at the stove and I've already added 1 cup of water, so that's what you see where you see the little white specks come from, because I started it to heat already. So I've already added 1 cup of water, and to that I'm going to add 2 cups of chicken broth. Now, I want a lot of flavor to come from this dish. I'm going to add 2 chicken bouillon cubes. That was 1 and this is 2. To that I'm going to add 1/2 of a medium onion, and I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of butter. And on the side, that's just where I stuck it in the other seasonings that I'm getting ready to add. Here is my thyme, garlic powder, seasoned salt, onion salt, everything that I showed you on the other side. I'm going to go ahead and put that in. And to that, I'm going to add 1/2 of a can of celery, the cream of celery soup that we saw on the other side. I'm going to add 1/2 of a can. Now, I'm going to allow this chicken to just cook until it cooks all apart. And once it cooks all apart, I'll come back and I'll show you what to do in the next stage. Now, I only started out with 1/2 a can of cream of celery soup, but I will add the rest of this cream of celery soup once we get halfway through the cooking process. Okay, we're at the stove and the chicken has cooked down, and I just want to show you, you can see just a slightly bit of gravy to the chicken, but we're going to use that. But I want to show you that the chicken is actually pulled apart. I'm taking my knife and I'm able to just shred that chicken loose. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this over to my table, and I'm going to finish pulling this apart, and then we're going to go to the next step. As you can see, it's real easy to pull apart, and this is servable at this point. You could just take this gravy and just go ahead and make you whatever else you're going to make with your dinner, and you can go ahead and serve it at this point, but that's not what I want to do. So I'm going to take you to the table, finish pulling this chicken apart, and then we're going to go to the next step. Okay, this is all of my chicken, and my chicken has been pulled apart, okay? And it has a savory taste to it, and that's because I added everything in the beginning except for that 1/2 a can of celery soup, and then I turned around and I added that like midway through. So it has that, I mean, all of the seasonings has cooked into this chicken, and it cooked in very well. I want you to remember that the only salt that I used for this was the salt that was inside of the seasoned salt. I didn't add any other salt because I knew that there was salt in my celery soup, and there's salt in my chicken soup. Now this is ready for me to fold, but I just wanted to come back real quick and show you what I'm going to do as far as the sauce is concerned. This is the leftover liquids that you saw that was on the chicken. I've taken that and I've put it in a bowl. Now to that I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of butter, really be 1 tablespoon of butter, and that's optional. You really don't have to add that, not unless you really want to. And I like for stuff to be velvetized, and I remember telling you a while back that carnation milk velvetized, and I did show this in the beginning, but I didn't name it out to you. So I'm going to add to this about 1/4 of a cup of carnation milk, and that's going to even cream up my sauce that I'm going to pour over the chicken even that much more. Now I'm going to add my can of cream of chicken soup. This is going to be a delicious meal. And I tasted that chicken. Oh my goodness. That chicken tastes fantastic. Now, I'm going to stir that up. And as you can see, it's already thickening up. So I don't have to add any flour to it. I don't have to add any cornstarch or any of that. This is going to be, what I'm going to serve this with tonight is going to be mashed potatoes, but you could serve it with rice, and I'm going to use mixed vegetables as well. And you can take just those ingredients those sides that I've named, and this can be your gravy that would actually go over your mashed potatoes, which is what I plan to do with it. Now, to that, I love onions, but this is optional. You don't have to add it. This was just the other half of that onion that I had from when I first put the onion into the pot with my other liquids. Now I'm going to add my other 1/4 of carnation. I added a 1/4 a few minutes ago. Now I'm going to add another 1/4, so that just takes it up to like a half. Okay, now I'm going to set this aside, and then I'm going to prepare for the roll, and I'll have you to come back so you can see how I actually stuff this and then roll it. Okay, we're back, and now I have the crescent roll. As you can see, I've already started out the dish on what I'm going to be doing, and this is similar to the same way that you put the apple dumplings into your pan with just a couple of twists. So I'm going to show you with this how it goes. Okay, so you take out your dough. There it is again. And then I'm just going to lay it out. Now, if you want to make this long, I do have my rolling pin sitting here beside me, but I don't see the need to actually use it. So I'm going to just do this way. And along my perforated lines, like I told you when I used this dough before, I always just cut them, because if I go to try to tear them, I never tear them right. Okay. So I find that just going ahead and cutting it out is just a lot bit better for me. And there's so many different recipes that you can do with this crescent roll. I mean, just tons of recipes. I have a dessert that I'm going to do next week. I did it tonight, and I'm going to show it to you, but I haven't tasted it, so I don't know how it's going to turn out. So I'm going to show it to you. I'm just going to show it to you, and then next week after my dinner tonight, if I eat it and it turns out well, then I'll do it online. Now, if you want this flatter, you can go ahead and roll it. I don't need it in a flatter because I could just go ahead and pull out where I need. Now, I'm going to take the sauce that I made, and I'm going to mix a little bit in with the chicken, because I don't want my chicken to be dry. Okay, and I'm doing it a little at a time. I'm doing it as I use it, because by the time I get to it, I don't want it to be dry. And I'm going to use about a spoonful of the chicken mixture, and it's shredded. And I'm going to put it down on my crescent roll. Now, I'm going to take these two ends, and I'm going to fold them in. Okay. Then I'm going to roll it. Now, the reason I fold it in is because I want to lock it. Okay? And then where the narrow part is, I'm going to put it in the dish on the narrow side. Okay? Now, that's going to lock my chicken in, and the reason I did it that way is because I don't want chicken all over this pan swimming in gravy. I want the chicken to stay inside of the crescent roll. Now, You can do this not only with chicken, you can do this if you have leftover beef, if you have like a leftover pot roast, or you have leftover pork chops. Be versatile in your cooking and just go ahead and use whatever you have and make the mixture. But the one thing is, if you're using your beef, make certain that you use beef broth and not chicken broth. So I'm going to take another spoonful of this, and you can stretch this out. You don't have to make it as small as I have it, but I'm making certain that I put enough chicken inside so that when I put it down on the plate, you're getting a good helping of chicken. Then you're going to spread this out and you're going to put it in first. So you lock it in. Then you're going to roll it. Okay? Then I'm going to turn it down on my narrow side. Okay, that way my chicken is locked in place. Now, if you want to add more chicken, then roll it out and make it a little bit thinner. I'm going to stretch this one out. I'm going to add a little bit more of my sauce because I want my chicken to be savory on the inside of my crescent roll. And the crescent roll has a very good taste to it. It has a very good taste to it, and that's why I chose to use the crescent roll and not a different type of biscuit roll. So I'm going to put just a little bit more in this one, and the wider you take it, the more chicken you can put inside of it. But I'm, again, you know, I'm doing so many until I'm going to fold this in, both of them, in order to lock these sides here. Then once I fold it in, then I am going to roll it. Okay? And once I get this rolled, I'm going to place it down in my container. And if you notice, I'm not putting them that close together because they're going to spread out and they're going to spread up. So I want them to rise just both ways. So I can roll this out. I can spread this out a little bit. And I'll do the next one with my rolling pin. And if you get a hole like I just got there, lock that hole back in. Smash it back together. You don't want to put your chicken down there because you don't want that chicken to ooze out. Then I'm going to take the chicken and I'm just going to place it in the center. Now I'm going to tell you something. This is really good. I've tasted that chicken. That chicken is superb. It is really good. Then I'm going to take my sides, put them in. Then I'm going to roll my chicken and I'm going to lock it in place and place it in my baking dish. Now I'm going to do the next one. Get one that's kind of a little bit fat. And I'm going to take my rolling pin. I don't have any flour on this, so it may just stick. And I'm going to flatten this one out with my rolling pin. And my working area is kind of tight as well. But if you can see, okay, it's a little bit bigger. Okay, so I'm going to take a little bit more chicken and I'm going to place it down on top of that crescent roll. Add a little bit more. I wouldn't necessarily give this one to a child, but an adult, I mean, that's fine. So you can see I have more chicken in it. But I'm going to alter it just one more time. I'm going to take a slice of cheese, any type that you want. This is just white American, but it doesn't matter what you use. I'm going to take a slice of cheese. I'm going to lay it over the top of that. Pull it out on both sides. Lock my cheese as well as my chicken mixture in. And I'm going to roll it again. Okay. Now, all of my sides are sealed, and if you can see right here, there's just a little bit showing. Just gonna smash it, okay? But I'm taking the narrow part and I'm putting it down. Now I'm gonna put this in the center, and the reason being is because I want to remember that these going down the center has cheese in it, and I'm not a lover of cheese, so the ones on the outside will just be the regular ones and the ones in the center will be the cheese ones. Now this time I'm just going to flatten it out with my hand. I'm not going to use the rolling pin. I'm going to get some more chicken. And I'm going to place it down. And kids will love it with cheese on it, and you as well. And I mean, just be versatile with that. Use Swiss, provolone, any type of other cheese that you might want to use. Mozzarella would probably be a fantastic one because it has a pull to it. And then just put your cheese down on and make sure that your cheese is not going to go beyond your crescent roll. And then put it in, and then we're going to roll it. Alrighty. Now, wherever my cheese is showing, I'm just going to go ahead and cover that over and smash it. Okay? And put it in. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go away and finish out this full pan. And once I get it finished, then I'll be back and I'll show you what it looks like just before I put it in the oven. I'll show you when it comes out of the oven, and then I'll show you a prepared plate. Now, we're at the stove and they're already made up. So all I'm going to do is to just pour my mix over the top and through the sides. And you've done this before because we've done this with the apple dumplings, which turned out fantastic. So go ahead and make sure that I utilize every bit of it. Okay. So we have that in. Okay. And now I'm going to place this in a 375-degree oven. I'm going to allow it to cook for 15-20 minutes. Because remember, the chicken is done, the cheese has to warm, and the biscuit part of it, or the crescent roll part of it, has to brown. Now, I'm not going to put this online until I try it. I was dreaming about this last night, and what I did was I took a can of crescent rolls, and in the inside I put apricot preserves. So I have not tried it yet. So I'm going to wait until I try it, and then if it tastes real good, I'll put it online one day next week. But I'll get back to you as soon as that is ready. We're back, be right back. It's time for me to take this out of the stove. And, man, I'm always sticking my hand in there when it's real hot. There you go. Look at that. That is piping hot, and as you can see, it's still bubbling. I'm going to allow this to cool only for about 5 minutes, and then I'm going to come back because I want to serve this hot, because I want to use whatever leftover gravies I may have down in here. I want to use it over my mashed potatoes. So I'm going to give this about 5 minutes, and I'll be back. And I didn't allow it to cool that long because I don't want all of the gravy to be absorbed. So I'm just going to dish up a plate. And what I did with my mashed potatoes is I used some of the liquids from the from when I made the chicken. That was what I used to make my mashed potatoes with, because I wanted all of my flavors to be pretty much similar. And then the mixed vegetables is just mixed vegetables. Put them on the other side of the plate. And then, well, I can use this. Let's see if I can get a couple of these out. There's one. There's two. Now, I really think that 2 will be enough. But then I don't know. And I got just a little bit of gravy, but I got enough to kind of render a paste on the top of my mashed potatoes. I could have even put down 3 on this plate, but let's see. Can I get 3? There you go. And they're sliding away so easy. Okay. So I did get 3. Okay. So this is my dinner for tonight. Oh, and by the way, I want to let you know that dessert was great. I tasted while we were away. I had an opportunity to taste it, and it was great. So I'll be putting it online next week. But here we have it. This is my dinner for tonight. Stuffed chicken in crescent roll, mashed potatoes, and mixed vegetables. Alright, I hope it's just another recipe that I can bring to you that you would really try. I think you're going to really enjoy this. I want to open it up before I leave. Let me get a fork. Okay. Let's try to open up. Let's open up the center one. Okay. This is one with the cheese in it. So see, the cheese is oozing out, as well as you can see the chicken still down in there. Okay. Just wanted to give you a look, and here's something I hope you would try. And as always, thank you for watching. Chris Cook for you too. Bye.